to you. I don't mind. Good to go? Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the UCSA Presidential Debate 2026 held by UC Polls. We're super excited to have everyone along today. Thank you so much for coming, and hopefully there's room for everyone down the back there. So my name's Tom, I'm Pres of UC Polls, and we're super honoured to be hosting today's debate. So let's introduce our candidates. We've got Katie, Taylor, and Tumiru. Epic. So just to give you guys a rundown about how we're going to run today, the debate is from 12 to 1, so we've only got an hour. At the start, we'll give an opportunity for each candidate to give an opening statement, which will be 3 minutes long. I'll be them giving some moderated questions, which UC Polls have prepared, and these will be 2 minutes long, and then we'll throw it over to you guys for some questions, which the candidates will also have 2 minutes to respond to, and your questions can be no longer than 20 seconds, the ones that you ask them. And then we'll give a closing statement at the end for 4 minutes. So should be moving pretty quickly. So I would like to invite Katie to open us up with her opening statement. Can we give a round of applause?
All right, bear with me, I will use my phone a little bit for this. So kia ora, ko Katie toku ingoa. I am obviously running to be your UCSA 2027 president. Woo! I've been at UC since 2020, so I've been around the block. I lived through COVID. I have changed degrees, did all of it. But I think I want to start by saying that I don't think that there is such a thing as an average UC student. So some of us live on campus, others commute. Some of us know every single club on campus, and some of us could not name you a single one. But I think all of that diversity matters. Because if I'm going to represent students, I don't want to represent some imaginary average student who has plenty of time, knows exactly where to find everything, and reads UCSA meeting minutes recreationally. I want to represent actual students, the messy ones and the busy ones, and the political ones and the non-political ones. That's also why I don't think being a good representative is about being the loudest person in the room, because a lot of people know that I can be loud, but I also can shut up and listen, which I think is incredibly valuable. More importantly, I want to make sure that other students can speak for themselves, because sometimes the biggest problem isn't that students don't have something to say, it's that they have absolutely no idea where they're supposed to say it. So if you're stressed about an assignment, you shouldn't need to become an investigative journalist to figure out what the UCSA is doing. While we're talking about things students should understand, I think we need to talk about work, because students are workers too. A lot of us are pulling shifts between lectures, assignments, and trying to maintain some semblance of a social life, and we work in cafes, bars, shops, offices. But being a student shouldn't mean your labour is something worth less. But yeah, vote Katie. I'm going to keep it shorter than what I was going to. Thanks.
Thank you, Katie. And Taylor?
All right. Kia ora. I'm Taylor, and I'm running to be your 2027 UCSA president. First and foremost, I'm an engineer. But please don't hold that against me, and I promise before this event I actually showered and I did not pull an all-nighter. I'm originally from Auckland, but I chose to come here to Canterbury. Half because of the reputation and half to move out of home. I still love you, Mum. I chose to run because in my entire time at uni I don't feel like I have seen much change. I've squeezed into a crowded gym, I've stood outside the library waiting for it to open in the freezing cold, and I've been falsely accused of AI. Ultimately, the point is, I'm a student experiencing the same stuff that you are. My vision for the 2027 UCSA is simple. A platform for students of all kinds to succeed on their own terms, whether it's through clubs, events, grades, or career. I want to expand the support systems the UCSA already offers and make them easier to access. It's crazy that it can take 30 days for a student to get therapy if they need it, and it's crazy to assume that every student has the same needs. UC should be a place for any student with whatever their needs and whatever their access to flexibility they need. I intend to find out what those needs actually are. I know the UCSA exec is a team, and that team exists to advocate for students, and I want to lead that team because UC is a beast of a business, but it's a beast that runs on the back of students, us, you, and me. So I want to engage and find out what students actually want, and I want you guys to have a president that actually seeks out your voice. And I want to be that person. Most students at UC are undergrads and in our early 20s. I'm living this experience right now as I'm a full student. I'm in my early 20s and I'm an undergrad. let me be your advocate, let me be your representative, and let's see together if we can finally get UC to listen. Vote Taylor.
Legend. Thank you, Taylor. And Tumaru?
Kia ora ana tātou katoa, tōku ingoa ko Tumaru Matayo, no te kukuri airani mai au, te no nei au ki roto i nutireni o tatahi. Kia ora everyone, my name is Tumaru Matayo. I was born and raised in the Cook Islands, Rarotonga, and now I am moved to Christchurch and studying at the University of Canterbury. I am a student, I am a mother, and I am a wife, so I come with experience of being a student, of navigating how to be a student, and also navigating of being a mum while being a student as well. I am currently a fourth-year law student. I do have a Bachelor of Criminal Justice. I am also your current president for UCSA. I am rerunning because my job is not done. First year, it went by really fast, to be honest, and I feel like another year will actually help me to continue what I have started. So that's why I'm rerunning. I'm rerunning to carry your voice throughout University of Canterbury, which I already am, and I'm rerunning to amplify and put your voice to action. So I hope you can continue to trust me for 2027, and I'm looking forward to today's debate. Thank you so much.
Epic. Thank you, guys. So we'll move on to our moderated questions now. So you guys will have 2 minutes to respond to each of these questions, and you'll get a bell at 10 seconds to let you know that your time's nearly up, and you'll get a double bell at 2 minutes to let you know that you need to wrap up. So we'll start off with some student questions that we got through on our UC Polls Instagram. We'll start with Katie and move away along. What experience do you have that makes you believe you are the best candidate for president?
I have been advocating on behalf and with students for a long time. I helped organise the fees-free protest. I have been working with other activist groups outside of university. I have been listening for a very, very long time and not being quiet when those voices aren't being heard. I think it's incredibly important that there are people in rooms that can listen and can amplify those voices, and so far I think I've done a reasonably okay job. I might have some people who would agree, hopefully. But yeah, I've got the background already, and I think that helps.
Thank you. And Taylor?
Cool. So I think that, for me, I've already worked on clubs, and I've worked managing tens of thousands of dollars is just a start. And I've worked with a lot of students. I've worked with Māori and Pacifica students through Totem, and I've worked through other academies to help develop students of all kinds. And really, I really enjoy giving back to students with what I've been lucky to have myself, and this is just another way that I hope I can help give back to students and try to represent you as best as I can.
Thank you. Tumaru?
Can you repeat the question again?
Yes, sure can. What experience do you have that makes you believe you are the best candidate for president?
The experiences I have come with being a student at first. Being a Pacifica student, especially that moved away from home to University of Canterbury, I have experience moving into accommodations. I have experience being isolated from services. I've experienced all the above of what a first-year student would experience. And because of that experience, it kind of influenced me to be part of UCSA as the Pacific Rep in 2024. 25. And with that experience, I was able to amplify my Pacifica student community into making sure their voices are heard within that space that usually doesn't get heard. And then 2025, I challenged myself to be that voice for the rest of our students, because it's just not our Pacifica community that's facing that. We also have our wider community of students experiencing that similar experience as well. And that's why I'm looking forward for another term, which is to continue to advocate for those students who are currently facing issues within the University of Canterbury of not having or knowing services that actually they are available for them. And that's why I've been working hard on this year, which is to increase transparency and increase awareness of what UC and UCSA has available for our students. And I'll look forward to continue to do that if I was re-elected. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is also a student question from our UC Polls Instagram, and we'll start with you, Tumaru, down the end. What is one thing you feel is being ignored by the university or UCSA right now that you would advocate for during your presidency?
Nothing. nothing has been ignored right now as my presidency right now because of the relationship that UCSA has with the University of Canterbury. With that relationship, UCSA has been in a lot of significant voice-making decision makers within UC. That's the academic board, that's UC Council, that's LTC, all in those spaces because of that relationship we have. And University of Canterbury so far has not ignored us. They have acknowledged us, and they have taken the issues that UCSA is advocating into consideration and making sure that student voice are heard in every level within the decision making of University of Canterbury. Wow, I sound like I'm rapping, to be honest. And although I will say nothing, even though there's nothing that they haven't ignored nothing, but I would say that they will still continue to work on communicating issues with the University of Canterbury. There are times we will disagree, but hey, that's like every partnership we'll have. We'll have disagreements in every partnership and every relationship. But at the end of the day, we're always there to mitigate and be there for our students to ensure their voices are heard and ensure the issues that they are facing within University of Canterbury is heard in those decision-making spaces. And I believe strongly that's what the University of Canterbury really cares about. It's hearing those student voices. And we will continue to build on stronger and more better advocacy for University of Canterbury. That maybe there might be something in the future, and that will be up to us, UCSA, to continue to push that with the University of Canterbury. Thank you.
Thank you. And Taylor?
Could you repeat the question?
Yeah. What is one thing you feel is being ignored by the university or UCSA right now that you would advocate for during your presidency?
I think one really big thing is the transparency of the UCSA. As much as it's been said that we are transparent, I feel like there is a lot of work still to be had to be more transparent with students, to know what we're actually spending our dollars on. So I think there is always space for improvement, and do acknowledge that there's a lot of work being done in the background. But personally, as a student, I have not seen much of that work on my side, and I just feel like there's more progress to be done, and that's just me.
Thank you. Katie?
I tautoko that point. I feel like it is incredibly difficult to find the information that you're trying to access without trying to find the right acronym or knowing the exact route of how to find that, and nobody has the time to do that. When we're all really stressed out with exams and stuff, we don't have the time to try and figure out where these teeny tiny little things are and where our money are going. The thing that I would want the university and UCSA to really work on, though, is the student workers' rights. The staff here are not being paid very well, and the higher-ups are earning millions of dollars, and we are paying them. If we didn't show up, then they're not being paid. And, the staff here are crucial. We wouldn't, I love a rice box. Everybody loves a rice box. And they get paid nothing, and that's not very cool. I would advocate for better working conditions. I think that the careers place is really awesome and cool, but learning how to write a CV is one thing, knowing how to not be exploited is another. I think that's my main area.
Thank you, guys. So we've got some questions now on the cost of living and student welfare. So this is just a yes or no question, and we'll start with Katie. Do you support first or last year fees free as a concept?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Tumaru?
Yes, that's what we're doing right now.
Sweet, thank you. The UCSA's current position on fees free is to grandfather the scheme, which means slowly phasing out the scheme over a number of years. If the government does accept this advice, what would be your next step? We'll start with Tumaru.
So right now, UCSA has a petition going on with the Parliament, and now I can officially confirm that we have our MP sponsoring that petition. And that MP is Duncan Webb from Labour. And he also used to be a lecturer here at University of Canterbury. What that would mean for us with our petition of grandfathering the fees free, it shows the seriousness that we as a student association hold in regards of advocating to ensure our students who has been heavily impacted with this reverse of the fees free will be a chance. There'll be a chance for the government to consider that we are advocating to grandfather it for use. And we will continue to do so, especially with our petition closing on the 21st of September, with your support, and also your friend and your family, and in other universities as well, to come sign the petition, and we will be working along with Duncan Webb to submit that to Parliament on behalf of UCSA.
Thank you. Taylor?
I think it's really important that as incoming potentials for being president, it's important that we continue the work that's already happening. There's no point us resetting at the clock essentially and going back to zero with this, because ultimately we're all fighting for the same thing here and we want to make it better for students. So what we want to do is just keep working on this and maybe work alongside it with Tumu, who knows, but it's just important that we keep working on this for the benefit of students, because that's ultimately what we are here to do as your representatives. We're here for you as students.
Thank you. Katie?
Can you repeat it?
Sure can. The UCSA's current position on fees free is to grandfather the scheme, which means slowly phasing out the scheme over a number of years. If the government does accept this advice, what would be your next step?
Yes, I think it's a great idea that we are advocating for that still, and thank you, Tumu, for pushing that as hard as you have. That's been really great. As somebody who was in that organisation space for the fees-free protests, I do agree that it wasn't entirely working, so I think the next steps would be to figure out how best to implement something similar that actually will work. I think grandfathering is awesome, and I don't think that students should go without. We should all have our fees paid for. But there definitely needs to be a better system. So just talking with students and figuring out what would best suit them. Because I got my fees free, doesn't mean that others shouldn't.
Thank you, guys. It took nearly 3 months to get the petition published on the parliamentary website for students to sign. Is that effective advocacy? We'll start with Katie.
Personally, I do not think so. I think it's awesome as well that Duncan Webb is involved, but he's also about to retire. And there are a lot of other MPs who are super heavily involved in that space who would have advocated faster and a lot sooner with us involved.
I personally think it's a start. There's a lot more to do and there's a lot more work to be done, and it will get there, but it's a start. It's in the right direction to try and get our voices heard in government, and that's all we can do. We can keep working towards it.
Can you repeat the question?
Sure can. It took nearly 3 months to get a petition up on the parliamentary website for fees-free grandfathering. Is this effective advocacy?
Seeing that this is the first time UCSA has ever pitched a petition to Parliament website, we didn't expect that to take 3 months or 10 working days to be fact. But in terms of this is true advocacy, while that was in process, we've been doing other things in regards of, like, for example, submitting a letter to the Working Education and Working Force Committee, sending that same letter to Erica Stanford, Penny Simmons, and David Seymour as well. So while that was going, we were still advocating for ways to make sure our voice was heard on the grandfathering position. And I can also tell you, as of today, that that letter there was a response from Penny Simmons in regards of the petition that we submitted on the grandfathering, and that letter is now available on our UCSA website. So our students can have access to the letter that we have sent to her and her response to it as well. So the petition is one point of advocacy, but we were doing other bits of advocacy as well, which was sending those letters, making sure our voice was heard regardless of what's going on within that 3 months of space, or 10 working days, I would say. But we will continue to do so. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Under your leadership, will the UCSA be working with other universities or student organisations from around New Zealand to advocate for future student policy, including schemes like fees free? We'll start with Tumu.
Yes, we have a relationship with the other student associations in regards of the fees free. Even though their position calls to reverse, UCSA is committed to grandfathering it. I have invited them to share the petition on our behalf to their students. They're welcome to share it according to if they want to, but we don't want to force that on them to share it. It's just an open invitation to them. And they're willing. Some of them are willing and some of them are on the fence of it because it will seem like it's underestimating their position, which is to call for the reversal of the fees free. But regardless of that, we will continue to work with the other student associations in regards of policies that affect and impact our students in the future.
Yeah, but Taylor?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Sure can. What one did I ask you? Under your leadership, will the UCSA be working with other universities or student organisations from around New Zealand to advocate for future student policy, including schemes like fees free?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's a pretty simple answer, that one. It does not do anything but benefit students as a whole working with other student organisations. So, yes.
Patty?
Yes, I also agree. I have I would bring to the role some personal relationships that I have with staff already on Vic and Otago, who I've had discussions with behind that's just student-on-student conversations, but I think those are also important for that sort of advocacy. What works for most students will work for all of us, and I think working together and collaboration along in those projects are really valuable.
Epic. Thank you, guys. We've got some questions now around academics, AI and student rights. So this one's a bit of a lengthy one, so bear with me. University policy around AI tools is evolving rapidly, often leaving students confused about what is allowed with differing rules between academic departments. Many students are also often wrongly accused of using AI for assignments. How will you ensure the university's academic integrity policies remain fair, clear and supportive rather than purely punitive? And has the UCSA done enough to advocate for students on this level? We'll start with Taylor.
I think it's really critical that we just try and convince the standardisation of these policies, because a lot of the issue is the fact that they're so different between different departments. So I think that's the best place to start, by making it consistent so all students have a clear understanding when they're told in one department it goes for the other. It's just about having that clarity for students so that they know what their rights are as a student when it comes to this. And I also believe it's important that we start phasing out outmoded systems like Turnitin. We're one of 2 universities left in the country that still use it for AI detection, and it's just not quite right. Yeah.
Thank you. Tumaru?
Honestly, AI has been one of the most evolving issues that UCSA has taken upon in regards of advocating to University of Canterbury. For me, the most important thing that students are clear about is the consistency of the uses of AI, which different faculties do use on different ways, depending on how faculties would mitigate our students on how to use AI. My team this year has made sure that that the student issues they are facing with AI has been advocated, especially in the academic board and our faculty reps as well, saying that AI is, the Turnitin, for example, the Turnitin is not consistent, but however, there is another way that UC is working on how to mitigate those AI policies that are impacting our students. And we will continue to do that because it is evolving the issue. It's different every year, and we will continue to evolve even for next year as well. We're not too sure what AI can generate next year. It can be advanced, which will be a new issue for our students to face. And UCSA is willing to face that once that comes through. Thank you.
Thank you. Katie?
I agree with Taylor. I think that it should be the same across the board. I think that there is not a lot of clarity around what you can use and when you can use it and how you can use it. Some classes are absolutely for it, making you put it in and then generating an answer and going against that answer to be better, I guess. I'm not entirely sure how well that's working. It hasn't worked for me. I've also been pulled up in the past for something that wasn't AI. I think there needs to be a better process on how to go about contesting those things as well. Being outright blamed for something that you haven't done is kind of a big hit, especially if you haven't used it. So just, changing it, making sure it's the same across the board and everyone's on the same page about it is,
Thank you. Awesome. Our next question, we'll start with Tumaru. What does non-partisanship look like under your leadership, and will the current position of the UCSA on political advocacy change under your leadership?
Yes, can I actually read my script off my phone in regards of that? Because this is a significant decision UCSA has made this year. And I think a lot of our students are confused with a non-partisan compared to non-political, which are 2 distinct different things. So to be clear, under my leadership, UCSA will remain non-partisan, and it is also under UCSA constitution to be non-partisan as well. But this doesn't mean we don't advocate on political issues. We do advocate on political issues that impacts our student. For example, the fees free. That policy changes has impacted our student, and we will advocate for that. And what advocating will look like, we're not opposing or supporting any political parties within UCSA. We are going against the policy that they have presented. What we want, which is quite simple to what UCSA stands for. It's a student association focused on students with issues that they're facing within the University of Canterbury. And if policies or issue impacts them within University of Canterbury and outside, it's our job to advocate against those policies. But that doesn't mean we need to be supporting a governmental party. That's not what UCSA does. UCSA is an association for students. We're not an association for governmental parties. Never have been as well. And I will strongly say that. And I believe we will continue to focus on our students. That's where our duty of care relies on, is to protect our students' issues and ensure their issues are heard in University of Canterbury and in the governmental spaces, which is what we're doing right now. We're doing that right now with the fees free, and we're doing that right now with AI impacts policy changes. Thank you.
Thank you, Taylor.
What was the question again?
The question was, what does non-partisanship mean under your leadership, and will the current position of the UCSA on political advocacy change?
I think the current position won't change because it is part of the Constitution that it is the job of the UCSA to be non-partisan, and we're a students' association filled with many students of many different types, kinds, whatever. Every student is allowed to view what they want to view, and that's completely fine, and that should be the same because we're a student association representing all students, not just a select group in any kind. It's important that we do advocate for policies like this fees free because we're trying to support the most students as we can. So yeah, no, we're allowed to have that, but for students, you can do whatever you want when you want. It's up to you.
Thank you, Katie.
I keep going last, so the good points keep being taken. But yes, agree. I think that non-partisanship is important. I think that we should remain non-partisan. Otherwise, we're not representing the majority. Yeah, we should not be politically silent when there are big nationwide issues that are coming up. We should be advocating on behalf of the students and for what benefits them. If that means that we're more slightly aligned to a certain party in that particular policy, then so be it. But if that means that we're doing what's right for the students, then that's the most important part.
Many students during our Instagram, when we surveyed students yesterday, reported feeling very disempowered and that they weren't represented by the UCSA. How will you address this under your leadership? We'll start with Katie.
I think I am a good example of a student. I have done everything here, and I've also done I've also not done other things. There are heaps of things that I've done. Representation, I think, is a difficult one. As a Māori student who is incredibly white passing, I found it very difficult to find a sort of community space here for that. And I think that kind of representation is important. Yeah, can you repeat it? Sorry.
I sure can. A lot of students reported on our Instagram survey feeling very disempowered and that they weren't represented by the UCSA. How will you address this?
Yes. Yeah, I think not everybody is just here to be like a really cool academic. Some people love to go for a little beer at the Foundry. Some people like to go for little walks down the river, all sorts of things. I like to do all of those things. And a lot of the other candidates are representative of those things too. And I think ultimately a vote for me and a vote for those other really cool people would help to make you feel less disempowered. So.
Thank you. Taylor?
I personally think ultimately a lack of empowerment comes really from a lack of engagement. As a student, I can't really remember the last time I've actively engaged with exec just by seeing them around. It's tough, and what I really want to do is I just want to be out there next year and find out what students as a whole want and find out more officially what students want, do surveys and actually engage with them on a personal level. It's just about engaging with students, and then if you find out what they want, they're more likely to feel empowered, and that's what I really want to do, and that's what I really feel like has been missing in the past couple of years. It's just that student engagement, really.
Thank you. Tuburu?
My question is, can you explain a bit more what that question means by disempowered? Because I'm struggling to understand that.
Disempowered as in they're not represented and they can't do anything about their situation within the UCSA.
I guess like with UCSA and our students feeling disempowered, some of our students, we do feel sympathy that they are disempowered or feeling that they're not feeling empowered enough by UCSA. we do know that there are things still need to be worked on in regards of engagement. And I firmly believe that we will still continue to work on better improving those engagement with our students, and also with students, especially who are feeling disempowered by that. Like, it's honestly, I feel sad about that some of our students do feel like that. And I do hope they do reach out to us. Like, there is a space for them that they can come see us. We do have the Haidaro space where we're not isolating ourselves. We're just either busy students or either doing things here and there, which we like. We're just busy with things that's going on with UCSA and being a student as well, but also trying to plan engagements about how to get with our students as well. But if there are students, I genuinely believe that they should reach out to us. We have our emails available as well. It's open 24/7. We have our advocacy and welfare team that's available to see them as well. We have services that are available around for them to be able to go and connect with. So I really do hope students who are out there feeling like that, please reach out to us if we haven't reached out to you. Also follow our social media pages. We do have events that are available which you can go to as well. So thank you.
Easy, thank you. We're about to move into audience questions, so if you do have a question you'd like to pose to the candidates, you can line up in front of that mic there. But while people who would like to ask an audience question do that, we've got 3 quick-fire questions. So in one sentence, we'll start with Katie. What is the primary purpose of the UCSA?
To listen and be a voice for the students.
Taylor?
To advocate for students and to support students.
Tumaru?
To be with and for students.
Thank you. If you could accomplish one policy change during your tenure, what would it be? I'll start with Tumaru.
Thank you. What would I do if I were to change one policy? On a national level, I'll continue to grandfather the fees free because we are so far into it. And I feel like it has the potential of making an impact not only for us, but also for students across Aotearoa as well. This issue is not only isolated to University of Canterbury students, it's also impacting students in other universities as well. And seeing that an MP is willing to sponsor that petition shows the seriousness of this petition that's willing to go to a parliament level to be heard. So that's one of my policies I hope to advocate for if I were to continue as president. Another policy I would continue to advocate for is to expand our advocacy and welfare team, accessibility and needs, because we've seen a lot of our students this year who has come to our advocacy and welfare team 2 times more than last year. We had a 56% increase of our advocacy and welfare team use for hardship, for dental cards, for food banks, for academic issues this year compared to last year. And I hope to expand that because seeing that our student number is increasing, we would need to definitely expand that services right there. So thank you.
Thank you. Taylor?
I absolutely agree with that. It's student welfare and advocacy services. It is just one of the most important things, and that's one of our key support services for students. And of course, as the student body increases, you need more of those services. And that's something that has lacked a bit of provisioning. So maybe it's time to fix that a bit.
Thank you. Katie?
Again, advocacy and welfare, I think there needs, it goes hand in hand with transparency. There needs to be greater awareness of wait times and point at, like, plain and simple, how long are you waiting, why are you waiting, and just because you can't measure demand if you're not seeing why it's not working in the first place.
Easy. Thank you. Lastly, should the UCSA take official public stances on national political issues or focus strictly on campus matters? We'll start with Katie.
Again, it comes back down to the non-partisan versus political silence. We should not be politically silent, so I think that we should absolutely be engaging in nationwide student-run issues.
Taylor?
If it's for the students, yes, we should act on it, but also we shouldn't devote too many resources to it that takes away from the student services that we do have direct ability to make change for here on campus.
Tumaru?
Yes. University of Canterbury Student Association is the only different association because based on a strategic advocacy inputs and outputs. UCSA usually observes and take in and consider how to make this the most impactful decision of making national advocacy. And that's an example of the fees free, which UCSA is the only lead of the grandfathering. So with being on national level issues, we need to be smart about it. We can't just react. We need to be really smart, especially living in this climate, in this environment, of how we can make sure this benefits all our students and be the lead and be the role model that other student associations can look at. So I believe that as well.
Thank you. There's no one lining up. Oh, now there are. Nice. Epic.
Kia ora.
Go on, Matthew.
Thank you so much for all your answers. Thank you so much for all your answers today. It was really great to hear from you all. Last night, ACT announced a policy to make the student levy voluntary for everyone entering university. Do you support this policy? What effects would this have on the student association if it was enacted? Kia ora.
Thank you. Start with Tumudu.
I do not support that policy. It looks good, but it's not good. It's not good for our students. If the SSL fund was made voluntary, our students is going to collapse. They won't have access to UC healthcare. They won't have access to Takaro projects. They won't have access to advocacy and welfare services. They won't have access to UCSA, us, as your student voice. They won't even have access to club grants applications. So I strongly disagree with this policy because it will impact us and it will impact you. It looks good because there's less money, but it's actually not good. Your SSL funding goes to all services that UC and UCSA provides to you, not only on the academic perspective, but also in ensuring your well-being is looked after while you're studying at the University of Canterbury. And that's where we show that transparency on our UCSA website and on the University of Canterbury website. Those information of your SSL funding is accessible. You just need to look for it. And I encourage you to look for it because they are there. Thank you.
And we'll get a response from Taylor too.
No, I don't agree with that because you're essentially like castrating the humans like system that we've got here. You've got all our clubs are pretty much supported by the money that we all as students provide, and so to do that, making it optional, you really just start limiting all students. Is kind of my view on that.
Katie.
I agree with both of those points. I think that, being someone who's in a club that already has absolutely no funding, it is appalling. And all of the issues that we're already facing with advocacy and welfare will just continue to get worse. I absolutely do not support that at all.
Thank you. Far away, Luke.
Got everyone. Thank you for all the answers so far. Mine's about democracy at the UCSA. Given that there are only 2 general meetings a year and members are only empowered to pass non-binding motions, should the UCSA reform its democratic systems to allow for referendums and more binding votes throughout the year, similar to what happens at some of the other student associations?
Start with Katie.
I would say yes. I think if you are a student at an AGM and you raise something and it gets voted on, that should be binding. It's meant to be a representation of what all of the students have to say, and if that was voted on, then that is an additional representation marker, I suppose. I think that there absolutely should be some reform made to how the UCSA runs their meetings, etc. Many things to be changed.
Taylor.
I think there is some reform that may be needed, yes. However, I do acknowledge that sometimes what a people's vote may be for, sometimes it's not something that the executive can actually achieve. So sometimes there is an element of that where you've got to be, it's a give and a take sort of relationship. But yeah, it may need some reform, but sometimes you've got to just weigh it up.
Tumudu.
Thank you for that question, Luke. With the non-binding and the binding solution, if you read in our constitution, you need to see at least 20 or 60% of the student who will turn up to AGM acceptance or consultations in regard to making sure it's a binding resolution, which I'm pretty sure you're aware of that. So it's in our constitution, you can have access to it. And also, with the AGMs happening twice a year, it's actually according to our constitution to hold it twice a year as well. And we can look into maybe, I don't know, making it more accessible, more transparent for our students, which we were willing to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Isaac?
So mine's on public demonstrations. Obviously, the UCSA did not try to coordinate or organize a public demonstration on fees free, but my question is, are you in favour of organising public demonstrations to make collective student demands? If so, why or why not?
Start with Taylor.
Personally, I'm not in favour of that as like being a representative of the UCSA, because the UCSA, we're trying to create a safe space for students here, and if we were to take a position for that specifically on campus, that might create a hostile environment for some other students who may have differing views, and that I don't think so necessarily okay, because it's okay that we take maybe a political stance, but ultimately we're here to create a safe environment for our students, and if some students don't feel safe, that's not quite okay with me.
Tumiru?
Sorry, can you repeat that question again?
Are you in favour of organising public demonstrations to make public collective student demands? Why or why not?
Can you give me an example?
So, for example, VUSA or USA, I believe AUSA, all organised their own fees-free protests.
Great. With public demands, it will depend on the timing of the issue and how we can mitigate, and also how we can consult our executive with that issue as well. So me personally, as president, I faced that issue in regards of making public demand, but that issue was discussed with other associations over a weekend. My priority is to my executive to ensure that this decision is all my exec, not just me alone. I work with my executive, and depending on what the issue is on that time, I'll make sure I'll consult with my executive first, and we will make our public demand statement, which we did 2 days after the association released its statement, which is consistent with the other association's demand that we have. We're on the same stance as them. So what I'll look at in the future is, it would honestly depend when the timing is of the issue and for us to react together. So that was me personally for this year, where I took that issue to my exec first before consulting that out publicly.
Katie?
My initial response is yes. The University of Canterbury has been known for its student-led demonstrations for years. Engineering protested against the rising fees back in the day. I think, especially with nationwide actions such as the fees-free one, there was a very obvious movement in the direction of what was right. And I would have just run with the students on that. I suppose that's different for everybody, and that's okay, but that would have been my position, especially if other student associations are involved. I think in regards to the hostile comment, in which case then should we have set up spaces that are safer for those things? If it's a majority student approved issue, then the hostility rate's going to be pretty low anyway, in my personal opinion. But yeah, I think that we should do what's right for the students. So,
Thank you. Hannah?
Oh my god, this is high.
Sorry.
The UCSA Treasury is an example where the ethical standing of the UCSA is mentioned as important to decision making. Given this, would or do you take into consideration the genocide being committed by the state Israel when the UCSA is offered partnerships, or when reconsidering pre-existing partnerships?
Start with Taylor.
Man, that's a tough question, because honestly, I would like to find out more about what my abilities are as a UCSA president in relation to the Treasury, because to make an informed answer to that question, I need to know what is actually possible. But ultimately, I don't know, it just depends on what is morally right and ethically not right. It really comes down to a team decision, because it's not just one individual person, it's the whole team. So I guess that's really what it's about, just to make a team choice and whether it's ethically correct.
Tumiru?
Can you repeat your question again?
Can I take this off? The UCSA Treasury is an example where the ethical standing of the UCSA is mentioned as important to decision making. Given this, would or do you take into consideration the genocide being committed by the state Israel when the UCSA is offered partnerships, or when reconsidering pre-existing partnerships?
Partnerships. UCSA offering partnerships. That's an interesting take and an interesting question. I believe UCSA has already, with UC alongside, we've also mitigate this issue of the partnership. I don't think UCSA has any partnership with Israel boycotting all of that. But What we do have is to make sure all our student voice is heard within this space, which involves you, involves those who are on the other side as well. But with partnerships, I don't think there are partnerships that UCSA has. The only partnerships that are available is within our student community who has their partnerships with the non-BDS boycott side. Sorry, my voice is shaking. But with partnership with UCSA, there's none available. There's none at the moment. We are focusing on our students' issues, not nationwide issues. And that issues is focusing on their academic and their engagement with the University of Canterbury. So I don't think we have partnerships with Israel or boycotting Israel as well, or any other vice versa partnership. The only partnership we have is with UC. And we will continue to hold on to that partnership with the University of Canterbury as well. Thank
Katie?
you.
I have been strongly on the side of student justice for Palestine since the encampment in this very undercroft. I would strongly oppose any partnerships with Israel if they ever came up, or anything in conjunction with partnership with Israel. I think that being a student here is also being a student there, and we should be looking after all of them, not just the ones that are in these walls.
Thank you. Far away.
All right, I really have to get up for this one. The UCSA is broadly split into a corporate side and a student side. Currently, the UCSA is undergoing financial hardships due to major financial losses from the corporate side. As the UCSA president on the UCSA exec, how would you work to make sure that the failures of the business end of the UCSA do not impact student services?
Thank you for that question. As UCSA president, we have worked alongside with our chief executive, Kate Sexton, to ensure our commercial arm is well looked after regardless of the financial loss. We're looking at mitigating on how we can recuperate on focusing internally. For example, all our businesses are now internally, we're looking at all our cafes here, and we're making sure to build up on our losses from here, but obviously not charging our students more. We're looking at how we can make food affordable for our students while mitigating our commercial arm internally within the University of Canterbury. And we will continue to do that as well. It's honestly one of the, the most impactful issue that we had this year as UCSA. But we will learn from what we've fallen for, because we'll continue to grow and build on what we've learned. And it's to ensure that our internal business commercial arm is well looked after and providing our students the best we can provide for them. Thank you.
Get a response from Taylor too?
Well, from what I heard from you, it sounds like you're really directly separating the two, when honestly I do believe a lot of the commercial arm is also here to support students. Like these restaurants out here, they're supplying food for students. So if they might be running a loss, it's not really a loss for the students directly, but it's just a way to give back to students. It's all a loop, it's all the UCSA as a whole. And I guess that's with the business side, it's kind of just that whole discussion of things. Yeah.
We'll just get a response from Katie, and then we'll see how much time we have.
I've lost my train of thought now.
That's right, yeah. Clarify.
There we go. Just to clarify, what I'm saying is the commercial side is losing money. How do we make sure that those losses are not passed on to students through the other aspects of the UCSA?
Well, ultimately, it's a business, and we as students are, with our student levy, we're funding this as a business. Well, UC is a business, we're a student organisation, but all we can do with the money we've got is we've got to provide for students the best we can. So there's no point making stuff up, but it's just, you've just got to support where you can with what you have.
Katie?
I don't have a super concrete answer to that because I haven't taken the time to dig through the thousands of pages of financials, but I would probably assess where the money's being spent and seeing if there's anything that we aren't really benefiting from that we could take that loss instead in that place to then make sure that that's not impacting our students in the association space.
You bet. Thank you. Next one.
Kia ora. Earlier there was mention of blanket university-wide policy in regards to AI. do you think this would greatly harm certain faculties, like the arts faculty,
Start with Tumaru.
who under, engineering's perspective or science?
Yep, so, yep, all yours.
Yes, so different faculties operate and mitigate their academic progress differently. So AI doesn't apply consistently to all faculties because, especially arts, I know for arts for sure that AI is not really relevant in that space. Art for our art student is an expression of how arts come about and also like the degree in it as well without the usage of AI. So the AI shouldn't be possible in that space. But in different faculties, AI is relevant, and different faculties, AI is not relevant. That's why there's no consistency for that reason. Different faculties have different needs of AI. Like for example, law can use AI heavily, but because that's where we're getting into. And also whereas engineering, there's assistance of AI, but not a full usage of AI. But I think it's just like the policies of what UC has. That blanket is to protect the faculties because they all operate differently.
Thank you. Taylor?
Well, I think that there should be consistency across departments in the way that they treat students when they get caught with AI. It's not fair in one department that you're innocent until proven guilty, where in another department you're guilty until proven innocent. That's kind of what I was feeling when I was saying there should be a blanket policy. It should be a blanket policy in response to the punitive measures that departments are taking. And I'm aware that in different departments there's different uses, but we need to be able to cater for students that are working across these departments.
Katie?
I agree with Taylor there. I think I know that the arts has one of the lowest rates of AI use in all of the faculties. In which case, having very clear and distinct panels that say like AI is absolutely not permitted, and having this plain language that is very clear, because it's not hard to add something. It's a lot harder to explain why you've penalised somebody for something.
That's a thing already. That's a thing already. The AI diamond system, it exists.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You talk about advocating for all students, but have you talked to other campuses and talked to other students? You talk about advocating for all students, but have any of you been to the other campuses to talk to students, and if not, why?
Katie?
I have been to Victoria many, many times. I have been quite personally involved with a lot of Victoria's students who are on their student association exec. There's a political summer camp every year, and a lot of them go to that. So in those sort of like specific advocacy spaces, I've had those conversations with those people, and they've been really productive and really awesome. I can't really do much with anything from the takeaways from those conversations because I don't have a position of power like they do, but I'm glad that they have been able to take conversations from our space here, and the people who I went, who are also from here, went with, they were able to apply that sort of to their own association, like in conjunction.
I was sort of meaning the campuses like at UC, like how we've got 3 campuses.
Oh, my
Sorry.
apologies. I've been to the Arts Centre, and I love it. And Dovedale's really beautiful. Up the new digital space, it looks really beautiful. I love Dovedale.
Taylor?
Oh, for me, it's most of the student body is here on the Island campus. So really, the Island campus is the focus for me, where most of the students are, because you want to talk for, well, want to engage with most of the students. I have visited Dovedale, but here's where most of the students are.
Tumaru?
Can you repeat your question again? Sorry.
You talk about advocating for all students, but have any of you been to the other campuses to talk to students? If not, why?
Oh, yes. Okay. So in regards of university and us being out to other campus, we have been to Dovedale. We do have activation points there called the Warm Fuzzies, where UCSA staff and our UCSA executive do go out there and give out freebies to students over there, and also cookies and noodles, and also engaging with students as well. Another activation point that UCSA is working on is to get our services from here to there as well. We do have feedback from students over there that they're feeling forgotten, especially with having access to services like student care, advocacy and welfare, special consideration, all of that. So UCSA is working on putting services there. We're currently part of a meeting within University of Canterbury to advocate to make sure our Dovedale campus is not forgotten, And UCSA is working in partnership with UC to ensure that there are services going there and making sure students are feeling included at Dovedale to the University of Canterbury. Because overall, they're students that's part of UC. And they've also paid, their fees and their SSLs. They're entitled to have that service as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Just do these last two.
I was just wondering, in the new gym, that you would be able to have a basketball only gym or only court, so I could shoot half court shots.
Yep. We'll start with Tumaru.
Yes, I can confirm the new Takarua project. The sports gym or wellbeing center does have a new basketball court. No volleyball, just basketball.
Oh, yeah.
On UC Open Day, there will be an art project display of what the potential gym will look like when it opens next year. And I encourage all our students to go there on UC Open Day to see what it will look like. So thank you.
Yeah, we're just sick of getting kicked out.
All good.
Do you guys want to offer a response about the rec centre?
You've got your answer.
Yeah, sweet, easy, far away.
In 2024, UCSA exec caved to Zionist pressure and approved a motion that banned UC clubs from using the expression from the river to the sea, and in so doing supporting genocide and probably breaching the university's free speech policy. Will you repeal that repugnant decision, and if not, why not?
Katie?
I would definitely look into that. I was a part of all of that when that happened, and I was very, actually quite ashamed of being a part of the Student Association when that decision was made. So I would definitely look into changing that.
Taylor?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
In 2024, the UCSA exec caved to Zionist lobbying and passed a motion that forbid any UCSA affiliated club from using the expression from the river to the sea. So stopping any support for Palestine action and opposition to the genocide, and probably breaching the university's free speech policy. What will you do to repeal that policy?
To be honest with you, I don't know much about that, and I'm not willing to comment on something that I don't know enough about, because it's important to make an informed decision when telling everyone what you think, so I'm not sure.
And for a few years, I'm amazed you've missed it.
Tumaru?
So 2024, when that decision was made, that was with the executive of 2024, not with the current executive. However, we're in a space where it's a critically conscious space. This is a tertiary education, and the University of Canterbury Students Association represents all students, including students who are for Free Palestine and for students who are for against Palestine. The policy that was maybe made in a decision because they're looking at this space to be an open space for freedom academic speech. Even though that's there, but I believe as an individual, you can still use that phrase as an individual student.
But not as a club.
Not as a club, because of a policy that's in place.
So you support that policy?
I do not support that policy.
But you won't change it?
I will probably look into it, but I'm not too sure where it will go. I need to look at the summary of the facts and investigate more about it as well. Thank you.
I'm amazed you don't know.
Thank you.
Thank you
awesome.
so much.
Thank you for the audience questions. And we'll give our candidates another 2 minutes each just to make a closing statement summarising their key messages and final appeal to the voters in front of you. We'll start with Katie.
All right, I have said so much, so ultimately all I do want to say is thank you for coming and for listening to us whop on for however long we've been going. I would really like to be your UCSA president, and I think that I would do a decent job. Vote Katie Palmier, JVPA, Lucy G for equity, Riley engagement, yeah.
Taylor?
Thank you guys for coming. It's been awesome talking to you guys. It's definitely something different you don't do every day on campus. So, thank you for coming. And if any of you are interested, I hopefully have a mechanical bull coming to campus on Thursday, so feel free to have a go on that. Thanks, guys.
Tumaru?
I just want to say thank you to everyone who's here. I know we all come with different experiences, different voices, and different views, but I hope at the end of the day we all can achieve one goal, which is to make a betterment for all our students here and for the future as well. And as your president, that's one of my goals for next year, is to ensure our students in the future can rely on the legacy that we have left for them. So I hope you have a good day. I'm so sorry my voice changed so much. I've been coughing for the last few days, but I'm glad to be here, to be able to represent us, to represent our students and everything. So I hope you have a great day. Thank you.
Ebek, thank you so much for coming along today, everyone. Voting opens tomorrow, I believe, if I'm correct, 8 a.m. and goes until Friday, so make sure to cast those ballots. And just another shameless plug, we've got Chloe Swarbrick coming in for our Leader Series on Thursday. There's still some tickets available, so go onto the UC Polls Instagram to... We've just put some more on. Yeah, so go onto the UC Polls Instagram if you're interested, and we hope to see you there. Thanks, everyone.